Ma'am.
All right, hello, my name is Melly Pretty. Today we are conducting Mr. Freddy's interview. Today I have with me Miss Tay Tay. Okay, Mr. Freddy, I'm going to go ahead and go over your rules, which is MD, HP, and RP. The first thing I'm going to have you do is I need you to go ahead and throw up all the macros from one to the last.
All right.
Perfect. All right. Rule number one, do not resuscitate patients on any street surrounding the hospital, PBP, Blue Territory events, or Army base. Rule number two, do not serve patients who have their weapons drawn. Do not stand cell on the main lobby floor. Do not go AFK while on duty, because if you do, it's a 3-day ban, demotion, and all funds returned. Only two rank members may be at each desk in rank order, which is brown, maroon, blue, white, then green. Up to three may line down the hall, also in rank order. If your medication wait time is over 5 minutes, go on emergency calls or med deliveries. If the wait is under 5 minutes, wait in the cafeteria. Do not use the front door. Only rank 6 enter through the front door, and only rank 7 use the front parking lot. Do not spawn the bus. Whatever you do, you have to have DCP or CP's permission, and we're never gonna get that, so don't ask. Last one is radio checks are mandatory. Always make sure you're hitting, when you see those radio checks mandatory pop up on the chat, just hit it with a 10-4 copy. Did you have any questions about your HP rules?
Nope.
Perfect. Okay, MD rules. Refusal to provide medical assistance, refusal to give medicine to civilians or resuscitate a person without a justified RP reason provided there is no threat to the medic's life. Turf 4 active shootout, standoff punishment 1 reprimand. Firearm use of firearms by medical staff is strictly prohibited. Punishment equals dismissal from the fraction. MD3 observes to project rules. Medical fraction members must follow all established project rules. Punishment equals from 1 warning to 1 reprimand. MD4 use of official vehicles for personal activities. Personal use of official medical vehicles is prohibited. Punishment equals 1 warning. Issuing medical certificates outside the hospital setting is forbidden. Punishment equals 1 warning. MD6, medical actions during dangerous situations, selling medical pills or resuscitating players during life-threatening situations such as firefights or other active threats, including to the individual being treated, is prohibited. Punishment equals 1 warning. MD7, gang association and criminal activities intentionally associating with gangs committing major crimes, theft, vandalism, murder, or affiliating with the fractions doing events is prohibited. Punishment equals dismissal from the fraction. MD8, disrespectful conduct towards colleagues and civilians. Disrespectful behavior towards any individual is prohibited. Punishment equals 1 reprimand, dismissal based on the fraction and leadership's decision. Okay, MD9. Non-compliances with orders, failing to follow orders or observe rank-based subordination, punishment equals 1 reprimand. MD10, use of personal vehicles for EMS work. Using personal vehicles for EMS-related tasks is not allowed. Punishment 1 warning. MD11, proper role-play conduct. Medical personnel must role-play their duties appropriately during interaction, dialogue, and as an assistant, checking surroundings during emergency. Punishment equals 1 warning. MD12, improper use of tasers, attacking civilians with a taser weapon or physical force without an RP reason. Punishment equals dismissal from the fraction. Did you have any questions about your MD rules?
Oh, ma'am.
All right, we're going to get started with your RP rules. Okay, RP 13, fraction NRP non-RP behavior within game fractions, including unlawful release of prisoner or execution of civilians by the police. Punishment equals exoneration from the fraction and or from 30 minutes in one state jail to a 3-day ban. RP 15, sexual harassment, any form of non-consensual sexual actions, including stimulations, explicit dialogue, actions, use of ethnic and or LGBT slurs, or excessive attention. All sexual actions require OOC consent, such as actions should not occur in public or frequent visited areas. Punishment equals 60 minutes mute, 24-hour to 30 days ban. RP 15, disruption of fraction operation, intentionally provoking fraction members for entertainment or disrupting fraction operations prohibited. Punishment equals 30 minutes in one state jail. RP 16, criminal acts against emergency personnel. Any criminal acts towards medical personnel are prohibited. Punishment equals from 90 minutes in one state jail to a 12-hour ban. Did you have any questions about your RP rules?
Nope.
All right, so you understand all those rules, correct?
That's correct.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead now and ask you a couple of questions, interview questions. There's no right or wrong answers here. You try to answer the questions as best as to your ability.
All right.
All right. Our first question. What made you decide to join our fraction? What do you think you can bring to this fraction?
I know a lot of people on the server, and I believe I can make that, connection between the paramedics and the other civilians in the server. We can better provide them medical aid and whatnot, build that relationship with them. And then the other reason why I chose this faction is because I've had friends in this faction and they've spoken good stuff about it. And it's a steady pay. You stay out of trouble, and you're actually making a difference in the server. You're assisting people when they're at their worst. So I just want to be helpful and be useful in the server.
Okay. I like that. Yes, you do get your salary every 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes you getting paid.
That's correct.
All right. What are 2 mistakes you've made in this fraction since being in the fraction? What if 2 you made, and what have you learned from them?
One's got to be the door, the front door. I wasn't aware of it, so I jumped in the front door, and then one of the higher rankings told me that it's only for rank 6 or up, so I stopped doing that. I corrected that behavior, and then, what else was it? For the standing on the floor, like only certain ranks can stand on the floor, and I learned that you can only stand behind a desk or down the hall as a green scrub, so I started standing down the hall.
Okay. Yes, that is correct. I will actually get to that. So, that next question to you is, how many people can be to a desk, and in what rank order should they be in?
I know there's 2 per desk, and then it goes by rankings. I think the highest is maroon, I think blue, white, and then green.
So it's going to be your brown, your maroon, your blue, your white, and then last is green. So yes. All right. Perfect. Okay. If you got an emergency called, if you had gotten an emergency call and you arrived at the scene and saw a civilian, a police officer on the ground, who are you going to be giving care to first?
First responders are a priority for us as well, so I would pick up the officer, most likely, but it depends on the situation as well. Like, I would assess what's going on first, make sure there's no danger around, first of all, and then ask, maybe, I know dead people don't talk, so, I would just try to see the best outcome. In my opinion, I would pick up the officer first, because we worked along the officers and we worked together, and then get to the civilian after, if it comes down to that.
Okay, you're not wrong, but you always going to want to make sure you pick up the person that made the call. So anybody that's standing in that red circle, that's the person you're going to go ahead and pick up. Then if the area is around you cleared, and if you have time, you can go ahead and pick up another person.
Oh yeah, my apologies. I forgot that they can call the ambulance to themselves. Yeah, you're right. My apologies.
No, no, you're fine. Okay, my next question is, let's see. How would you handle how would you handle a situation under pressure?
Depending on the situation, I would always consider my safety first and safety of my colleagues, and then if it's safe to conduct my job, like if I can provide first aid or even pick somebody up, um, in a stressful situation, it's always about first safety of yourself and then others. So I've been in a lot of stressful situations on the game, like on the RP game, but I think you just gotta take a look. You gotta step back and take a look at what's going on, and then make the decision from there, and make your judgment from there. I would say.
Right. That's okay. Not bad. But you if you find yourself in a situation under pressure, you're gonna always try to remain calm. Try to take a breather. If you need to walk away outside, then that's fine. You can do so because we all know how sometimes HP can be a little hectic, but we want to make sure that we're not, you know, um, getting angry at our patients or showing them that we're sweating. They got us sweating, if you would say.
Yeah, for sure. No, I would remain professional. I wouldn't use any vulgar language if they're using it. I would, reach out to the high rankings if needed. Reach out to the appropriate uh, connections that I have. If I need PD, I'll just tell a high ranking or let them make the judgment. But definitely stay professional and calm, and see what's going on and go from there.
Right. All right. What are the areas you cannot perform CPR at? What are the four areas? I believe it's three or four areas that we cannot pick up. Oh, okay, three. Three areas we cannot pick up patients at.
I know one for sure. I won't lie. It's near the hospital. Like if anybody is dying around the hospital, we can't pick them up. And if there's a shootout, I believe, don't pick anybody up because I'm putting my safety at risk. And I'll be honest, the third one I'm not quite sure.
Okay, so those areas are going to be your Army base, around your HP, and game territory. So anywhere that you see that blue flag, do not pick up nobody from those areas.
Got it.
All right. I got one more question for you, and then I'm going to pass it to anybody that want to go ahead and ask. My last question: what days can we spawn the bus?
I mean, we don't, as a green scrub or any lower ranking, we don't have permission to do that. But if we do need to, we reach out to the higher rankings, the DCP, I believe it's called, or DCs. We get permission from them, or I have seen a bus full of medics and they do rounds around the city and they conduct CPRs together, I believe, but we're not allowed to spawn that bus without any permission or approval by the higher rankings.
That is correct. Yes, sometimes our higher ups, which is our DCPs or CPs, will go ahead and spawn that bus only for us to go on like CPR runs or any different or a different kind of event that they will go ahead and have for us. Other than then, we would never go ahead and ask them to let us spawn the bus. Just don't do that.
For sure.
All right, all right. You answered all of my questions. Great. Miss Lightskin or Tay Tay, did you guys have any question for Mr. Freddy?
Why do you think it would be a good asset to the medical profession?
Sorry, your audio was kind of messed up. What did you say, sorry?
Why do you believe you would be a good asset to the medical faction?
I've been a PD in another server. I just enjoy speaking and talking to other people and being helpful in the server. I believe I'll be good to this faction because I know a lot of people in the server and they know that I'm trustworthy, like loyal and stuff, so they can feel comfortable to talk to me or if any issues they have, I can appropriately take it to a higher rankings if needed, whatnot. But I'm very professional, I would say. I know how to take, look at situations and kind of get the hang of it. Sorry, don't mind my dog in the back. I just believe I can bring, positive stuff to this faction because I'm a good communicator. I'll say that, and like I'm a good worker. Like I get my stuff done.
Let's say you're on the first floor and you see two white coats going at it. What are you gonna do?
I'll probably assess the situation, like see what's going on, hear the conversation, and then if there's another higher ranking above them, I would let them know that this situation is going on. And if it comes down to like they're going back at each other, like saying vulgar stuff, like a lot of bad stuff, I would just call an admin possibly. But my first thing would be to de-escalate the situation, ask them what's going on, if they feel okay to tell me what's going on. But I wouldn't want to dig myself a deeper hole because it's not my situation. But I would de-escalate them. I'll speak to them, figure out what's going on, and then let the higher rankings know.
And my last question is, how do you plan on uplifting your teammates if you feel that the energy is down?
By speaking to them, that's the most important thing. Asking them how their day is. If they're not feeling the best, ask them what happened, and then see if I could do anything because it is an RP game. But if there's anything that could help out with like if they're down on money and they want a car or something, I don't know, something like just cheer them up. I'll do that. I do help people out here and there, but I'll talk to them and try to figure out first what's going on with them, and then take my make decisions from there.
Very good. I actually have one more question, Freddy. Is it true that y'all view me and people nightmares?
Yeah, only on Fridays.
Okay,
so I have like 2-3 questions. So, first question is, how many scrubs can line up in the hall and also behind the desk?
So 2 scrubs. Oh,
No, I'm sorry. He answered that one, Tay.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, so why is it always important to record and report?
Because it shows more solid evidence for your case. Like if somebody shoots you down or something without any RP reason, and you're just doing your job, it's kind of more solid to show that you were not in the wrong and the individual was just escalating a situation that didn't need to be escalated or did not even have to occur. But it also shows your correct behaviors, I guess I would say. Like if you're doing a meta run and you're not bothering nobody and you're doing everything correct, it's easier for you to back up your statement, to show that you're not in the wrong.
Right. That's a great answer. One more question. Are you allowed to give game members heals or med kits outside of HP?
Mm-mm.
Outside of HP, no, you cannot do that. But if I'm doing a med run or if I'm actually like in a vehicle, like an EMS vehicle, if I'm on duty, like if I'm patrolling and whatnot, I believe it's fine, but not outside the hospital. No, you cannot do that. Only, they gotta respawn or something.
Okay. I don't have any more questions.
All right, Mr. Freddy. Well, that will conduct your interview for today. Great job.
Appreciate it.